Hello everyone, I'm Jacob Kaufman, I'm Nerd on the Street, and this is my coverage of the 2015 St. Louis Regional of the first robotics competition. So I made a video in January about the first tech challenge, and the first tech challenge is a robotics competition for middle schools and high schools, and it exists kind of to teach people the fundamentals of the design process, sort of some basic programming. Last year my school competed in the VEX robotics competition, which is also open to middle and high schoolers. And the first tech challenge is pretty much the same thing as the VEX robotics competition, it's just run by the company first rather than the company VEX. So those two competitions, like I said, they exist to introduce the principles behind building a robot and programming a robot and making it work. First has another robotics competition, just called the First Robotics Competition, and it's basically the varsity league of the group. In case you were wondering, FIRST stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. It is a United States organization that is dedicated to teaching STEM to students, science, technology, engineering, and math. Obviously, those are all involved in robotics. So I really fought for my school to compete in the first robotics competition this year. We competed in it when I was a freshman, and then last year, like I said, we downgraded to the VEX robotics competition. And the first tech challenge is really the same thing as the VEX robotics competition. It's a pretty small scale. You know, the competition's held in a school gym. A lot of the teams are in middle school. And the overall atmosphere, you know, if you just look at all the technicalities of the FTC versus the FRC, the tech challenge does look like, on paper, it has all of the same things that the FRC has. It looks like it's got all the same education. It looks like you're getting the same amount of experience. But the biggest difference between the FTC and VEX and the FRC is the atmosphere. I really wanted to compete in the FRC this year because it's got a whole lot more of a competitive feel to it. You have limited time. The FTC, you find out the game months in advance, whereas the FRC, you only have 6 weeks between the time when they tell you what the game is and they give you your parts until the stop build day, when you have to stop working on your robot and put it in a plastic bag until the competition. There's just a sense of intensity that the FRC has that the FTC does not have, and you can't put that on paper, and it's hard to describe in words. But it's there, and I really wanted to participate in the FRC this year. So I complained a whole lot, and my school actually, my teacher that does the robotics club, agreed to do the FRC if we could pay for it, and we could not pay for it at all. The FRC costs $5,000 just to enter, and that does get you a kit of parts. So they give you a whole bunch of parts for that $5,000, but if you don't have that $5,000, you're out of the competition right there. So our club did try to raise money a bit. If you follow the Nerd on the Street community channel, if you subscribe to that, you probably saw our Indiegogo campaign. We received no money from that Indiegogo campaign. In hindsight, we did not promote it very well. But anyway, we ended up not coming up with the money until at the last second, Paul Frayling of the St. Louis division of FIRST jumped in and he sent us an email, and he was working with a group that was basically trying to pay for teams who could not afford to do the FRC themselves. Now, we're probably not going to get that opportunity again. That program is probably not going to happen again. So yeah, we're not going to get it paid for us next year, and actually robotics has been defunded as a club for next year, so none of it's happening. But for this year, we did get to go to the FRC again, and I recorded a couple of videos with my phone using the Media Pass my freshman year. That was when I guess I was doing Nerd on the Street regularly, but I didn't think to make a video about the FRC. But since I made videos about VEX and about the FTC, I would be out of my mind not to make a video about the FRC because it's just so much cooler. So yeah, like I said, the FRC is just the varsity robotics league, basically, for high schools. There are a ton of like unaffiliated robotics competitions all over the world for anyone to compete in, but FIRST is really a major leader in terms of high school teams. So this is going to be a little tricky to keep things interesting. I will be commentating over a lot of the clips I might have some music going, and I might just show you a few games, especially the finals matches, because there were some really awesome robots. Oh, I should probably tell you what the game is. So every year, the game is what your robot has to do. There's an arena with 2 alliances of 3 teams on each side. There's a red alliance and a blue alliance, and then each alliance has to compete to score the most amount of points. In the past, there have been years where you have to throw frisbees. That was the one that we did a couple years ago. Last year, you had to throw beach balls around. This year was actually a relatively easy game, which even though it doesn't look as cool on film, I'm really thankful that they had an easy game this year because we performed a whole lot better than we would have if it was throwing things. Every year, First uses these big plastic FRC boxes to give out all the parts. So every team has 2 or 3 of these boxes for every year that they've participated in the FRC. Believe it or not, the FRC has been running since at least back in the 90s. It might have been before that. I'm not sure when the first competition was. Scratch that. The first season was in 1992. So yeah, there were a whole lot of these plastic boxes building up that they were distributing parts in. And so this year, the game was called Recycle Rush, and the theme of it was recycling. So the game was you have to pick up those boxes with a robot and stack them on top of each other and take them to specific parts of the field. Now, in addition to that, the reusing of old parts for the game elements, there were also large recycling bins that are the size of outdoor trash cans. You'll see it. Those were spread out through the field, and there were also pool noodles representing litter. So teams could get points by putting litter, or the pool noodles, into the top of recycling bins, and then stacking those recycling bins on top of boxes. If you want to know about our robots specifically, you can head on over to oakvillerobotics.com. I manage that website. I take all the media for it. We did not get a whole lot of media for the FRC compared to the smaller competitions because, once again, you're moving pretty fast. It's a pretty fast pace, and I didn't have time to stop and take pictures of everything. I'm the lead programmer for the club, so I try not to let my videos get in the way of my responsibilities in terms of programming the robot, because a lot of times it's Brian Pohl and his team builds the robot and then they hand it off to Jacob and it's, alright Jacob, you make it go in the next hour. So yeah, I used C++ this year to program the robot. The standard language is LabVIEW. I'm not a fan of LabVIEW. It's just really, it's easy to do simple things. It's easy to like make a tank drive mechanism, but it's hard to do more complex tasks. The more you want to change the default LabVIEW program, the more complicated it gets. So LabVIEW looks easy from the outside, and I think that that's kind of why it's the default standard language, is because it looks easy, so new teams usually flock to that. And the people who are running first, who maybe don't always program their own robots, they're just picking out the languages for us to use, they might not know about the difficulties that LabVIEW poses. But yeah, I did use LabVIEW my freshman year, and this year for the FTC I used LabVIEW. But the FTC for next year is not going to be using LabVIEW at all anymore. It's completely Java. So the FRC has, as of right now, a choice between LabVIEW, Java, and C++. Like I said, I used C++ because it's the only one I had not used before, and I wanted to learn something new, which turned out to be kind of a bad decision because it almost didn't work, but I got it working in the end. So I'll stop rambling and ranting at this point, and I'll just let you know, where was I? Oh yeah, our robot, what it does is it drives up to a box, lifts it up, places it on another box, picks up the box on the bottom. It can make stacks of about 3 boxes. After 3, it gets difficult because of balance issues. We based our robot design off of one we found online, but the one we found online had pneumatics. We had to heavily modify it because we cannot afford pneumatics at all. So we were using some old motors we had laying around, and we were using motors with strings to basically pull the box teeth up, as opposed to using pneumatics to do that. So yeah, if that doesn't make any sense, I'll point out when our robot's on screen. It says Oakville Robotics on it, you can't miss it. Our team number's 4231. But yeah, this video is not just focusing on our robot, it's focusing on the competition as a whole. So like I said, I got a whole lot of footage. If there's too much here, I'm sorry. I brought this camera Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We set up on Wednesday, so we were ready to go on Thursday, and I got some footage. There is a whole lot of footage for this, and yeah, I might not be able to pick out all the best parts, so I'm going to err on the side of more footage. But yeah, on that note, I'll stop talking and let you guys see this awesome competition. Since we brought our robot in on Wednesday, we were able to start practicing right away on Thursday. That was really important because we put our robot in its bag immediately after we finished building it. We didn't get a lot of time to drive it around first. As you can see, the robot did work on the practice field, but throughout the day on Thursday it kept dropping connection when we were on the real game field. The field technician told us that it was a programming problem, which resulted in me rechecking the code over and over again on Thursday. At the end of the day, it turned out that it was a broken router, not a programming problem. The field technician just wasn't used to seeing C++ code running. Luckily, I was still able to catch a few games in between messing with the robot. Here you can see the start of a game. The field was completely reset. At the beginning of each match, there's a 20-second autonomous period. During that time, the robot can only move using predefined code. Teams are allowed to measure out predetermined paths for the robots to take, or use sensors to make the robot smart enough to decide what to do on its own. After the autonomous period, teleop starts. Now drivers step up to their remotes and control the robots manually. You'll notice that some of the robots are able to move side to side without turning first. Those robots are using mecanum wheels. Basically, each large wheel is made out of a bunch of smaller wheels. By turning the large wheels, the robot can move front to back, and by turning the smaller wheels, it can move side to side. It's worth noting that those wheels are still pretty expensive at this time, and did not come with the standard kit of parts. Around the middle of the match, there's a point where drivers are allowed to throw pool noodles, or litter, onto the other team's side of the field. Each piece of litter on the ground at the end of the game removes points from the alliance it's closest to. Generally, you can tell which team is doing well with a quick glance of the field. You can see that in this match, the Blue Alliance side looks nice and tidy with a few large stacks, while the red side has lots of boxes knocked over and spread out. Here's a video that focuses on our robot specifically. Between every match, there was some disorganization, with teams both trying to get their robots on and off of the field, and the field reset crew trying to put all the boxes back in their place. Because our lift was pretty slow, our team made sure to start our robot right in front of a box every match. Here you can catch a glimpse of what things looked like from behind the driver station. We were using an HP EliteBook mobile workstation, with 2 Logitech joysticks and 1 Logitech gamepad. We attached a webcam to the robot to make driving easier when our view of the field was obstructed. As you can see, one of our biggest problems was getting a good grip of the box. We did not anticipate the boxes to be so tightly packed on the field. We discussed putting wedges on the front of the bot to knock other boxes out of the way, but we didn't quite get around to it at this competition. Another problem is that our robot was very touchy in its controls. Moving the joysticks all the way forward could easily send the robot zooming across the field, so our drivers had to be careful to control their movements. This was admittedly a programming problem, but we were using a built-in arcade drive function, and we didn't want to risk breaking the program by making tweaks. At this point, you can see that our robot has stopped. Notice that the light on the top is no longer blinking, while the lights on all the other robots are still blinking. Again, this was caused by a bad router, which we replaced at the end of the day. In this clip, you can see that another team was experiencing similar problems. The other robot in the foreground has also lost connection. This was the highlight of my footage from day 1. Don't worry, there was much better footage on days 2 and 3 because I wasn't so concerned with getting the robot working.
Restart the driver station. Restart the driver station. Restart the driver station. They need to X out and open it again. Do you have one of the numbers?
At the beginning of day 2, I was very jumpy and concerned that the robot would not work. The previous day, we did get a replacement router, but we did not get the opportunity to test it. At this point, it appeared to me that the robot had dropped connection again. Luckily, the problem was just that our robot's wide base got stuck on the bump in the field. In the future, Brian avoided driving sideways over the bump. Here you can see another robot that also got stuck that match. If you look closely, you can see the mecanum wheels that they're using. Alright, at least the other teams got stuck, so we weren't the only ones sitting there. Alright, let's get down there. One aspect of the game I haven't explained yet is the yellow totes. Yellow crates are special for 2 reasons. One, they have special reflective tape on them that lets robots use them in autonomous mode. Robots can score extra points in autonomous mode by stacking yellow totes, but they can't score extra points by stacking gray totes. And second, the yellow totes are used for something called cooperation points. First of all, let me tell you that I know cooperation is not a word, so please don't correct me in the comments. To promote opposing alliances working together, FIRST created a special cooperation bonus opportunity. Normally, the blue and red alliances only stack crates on their own sides of the field, and they compete to see who can get the most points. If the red and blue alliances work together to stack 4 yellow totes on the center bump, both alliances receive 20 cooperation bonus points. While the 20 extra points for each team don't actually matter in this round specifically, it does aid both alliances and the tournament as a whole.
Now if it stays at the end of the match, that'll be a nice cooperation bonus.
You can see that pool noodles from both teams are landing around 3284's robot. One downside to throwing pool noodles at your opposing alliance is if you miss, you can end up getting in the way of your own alliance's robots. Sometimes the pool noodles got stuck in robots' gears, or otherwise blocked the robots from moving. In case you haven't figured it out by now, drivers entering totes into the field through those doors on the sides are not allowed to touch the totes at the same time they're holding the doors open. I'm not sure why First made this a rule, but it was just an aspect of the game, and you can see most of the drivers making a point to show that they're not touching the tote while they're holding the door. Also notice the referees standing on every corner of the field. They each used touchscreens to keep track of the game's points as it went on, and at the end of each game, they would submit their scores to the field's scoring system. Unlike our robot, which had to drive onto the box to be able to pick it up, most of the more successful robots had wheels that spun the boxes into their correct orientations and pulled them into place for the lifting mechanism. Scoring increased almost exponentially with every box added to the stack, so teams that were able to create tall stacks with recycling bins on the top were able to do much better than teams with even a few boxes less capacity. Here's another example of a robot that operated using the box chute. And here's another match we were in. You can tell if a team is connected to the robot or not with the light over the driver station. The light stops blinking and goes solid once the driver station is connected to the robot.
Oh no. Oh.
We're going for another one.
We're good. Don't get stuck. Don't get stuck. Don't get stuck.
5147 going after a yellow
I think you're able to like lower the wheels more.
They're trying to make their way across the
Yeah,
field.
they're already pretty low though.
Team Titanium's waiting on the other Alliance to make a move on block.
Alright, they're going for a stack.
Looks like we have our offering from the Hornets. We have Litter flying through the air. This is from the Horn.
Going for a stack.
Gray Toad in the middle of the field. And we have 4931, Edwardsville Tech. Also with a Gray Toad potentially picking up the second one. 1986
Pick it up.
Recycling container and
Oh, no.
going to grab another toad.
Not quite.
And we have about 80 seconds remaining in the match.
Up.
Litter flying everywhere.
Up.
1986 adds
There you go.
toads and
There you go. Now back it up.
top of the three they already
No,
have out there.
back it up. You're good. You're good. You're good. You can make it. You can make it. Get some momentum.
We're looking at our
Run up to it. Go.
with the Gray Toads stacking them like
Yes.
crazy.
Down.
That's Edwardsville Tech.
Little further back. Little further back.
System of the Horn trying to go for another Gray Toad. Team Titanium's going after competition. They've
setting them down.
Down. And they get
Down.
the out there. They're
Down.
out there. They move back.
Put it down.
And
Back. Yes.
And it's good.
Yes.
We have competition on the
See what we're doing now.
Team Titanium going
We going
after
for another one,
their
or?
second toad, and they're trying to get a stack going. We have about 35 seconds there. Will they make
They're trying to fit it in.
Less than 10 seconds. It's
Oh, just push it up. Just nudge it up. Nudge it up. All right. Yeah.
We'll have your score and chosen.
All right.
We have a foul on the Red Alliance. 4196 has a Gray Toad that has been entered the field by the human player. We'll find out what that foul was in just a moment.
A surprising number of the robots gripped the boxes by their short sides rather than by their long sides. Many of them only needed one edge of the box to hold on to.
And I hear a gearbox grinding over here with Robo-Swag. Robo-Swag's out here and they're making some moves. The foul, as I'm hearing, is for a violation of G6. G6 is simultaneous contact with the toad and the chute door. That means the human player was touching the toad as it entered the chute and controlling the door at the same time. 4196, that is the Devils, have now got 4 Gray Toads stacked up. And we're going to see what happens here. We have about 70 seconds remaining in the match. Raven Robotics working diligently to get more and more of these Gray Toads picked up and stacked. We'll see what happens as soon as they get another one together. Recycling Center. Let's see if they can get it on top and score some points. We have 30 seconds remaining in this match. Raven Robotics is still going after those Gray Toads in the middle. 4187 has 4 Gray Toads, and they're going to place them down. That is Robo-Lambs. So that means that we have less than 20 seconds remaining. 4246 has regained control of their robot, but they almost tipped it over not once, not twice, but 3 times. 5583 is in possession of another Gray Toad. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's the end of the match, ladies and gentlemen. And at the buzzer, we lose an entire stack. The mad dashes are made by 42.
In this match, we attempted to bring one yellow toad to the middle for the co-opetition bonus.
System of the Horn. Opposite sides of the field, but going to the same thing. The Gray Toads in the middle. 4600, the Tech Titans, stacking up some of those yellow toads saying trying to get competition. Looks like 1329 on the other side is trying to do the same thing. I see that our team is launching quite a few of these litter pieces right into the middle of the field. Oh, 4231. That is Oakville Robotics. Joins their partner, 4600, with trying to get the yellow toads out there.
Failing to place the yellow toad on the middle bump without crossing over to the other team's side, the drivers decided to place the toad on our own side instead, which at least got us a few points.
And recycling container and a piece of litter in it, all on top of the bump. They're going in for another one. Let's see if they can do it. 4600 has 2 yellow toads, putting them in. 1329 is trying to join them with 3 more. That puts a total of 5 on there for competition. It only takes 4. 3330 system of the corn trying to stack up some more great toads. It looks like 1658 is up to their usual tricks. That's the tech heads. 1329 is trying to get in there with the toads, but there's a piece of litter sitting on the step, kind of blocking the path. They got it up there, and we got competition. We got pieces.
One of the biggest weaknesses of our robot was how slow the motors moved. Now the lift motors are actually moving at their maximum speed, and if we had faster motors, we might have been able to pick up more boxes in each game.
That's a big accomplishment. 31 pushes for it. That sound means there's less than 20 seconds remaining in this match. 4600 Tech Titans making a dash. Wanted to pick up a recycling container. If they can at least get it on top of one great toad, they can increase their score. 1658 is trying their best to get what they can out there and score points, but this is the end of the match. And then score for you in just a moment.
In the pits, our journalism team was taking some video of the robot moving up and down, so I decided to turn my camera on too. Hopefully you can get a clearer picture of how the lift works.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do something with this.
Finally, I had the opportunity to record a match from the side of the field using our team's media pass. Once again, you can see that our wide base and our tank drive mechanism made it difficult for the drivers to get the robot in line with the boxes. It seemed that many times our drivers were worried about tipping the bot over or damaging field elements. Personally, I think we could have benefited from a little bit more confidence to give our robot pushes on the field. Here you can see the use of wheels on the lift mechanism to get boxes off of the robot. Here's a few extra moments of footage I managed to catch on our way into our next match. This was the last match I managed to record on day 2. The view of our robot isn't great, but you can definitely see a lot of talent on the field. You might be able to hear a gearbox slipping on 4331's robot. Clearly, we were not the only ones struggling with shoddy build quality. You can see that we just overplaced our final stack. Unfortunately, I don't think those boxes counted because they were not completely on the bump. However, we still had a good day overall, and we were happy that our bot was at least able to stack boxes to some degree.
Did you just say that? 64. Time for your Q&A. Teams involved. 4154. 5479. 4329. 2408. 4246. And 1329. 42 for match 64. We need teams. 41.
Doing the best they can on that front bumper, but having a little bit of crash back on Cafe Bot on their own alliance. We do see that Nuts and Colts is creepy crawling across the floor when they're going after our great toad. Let's see where that goes for. At the same time, their alliance partner. That's the end of the match. Let's see if we can get the competition or not. And it is.
By this time, you've probably seen enough game recordings, so I'll just show you a few exciting clips that I managed to get. Here's a few more shots of that beautiful robot from Team Titanium. Here's a game with some robots I haven't given much coverage to yet. So there's the cooperation bonus once again. And you can also see on the blue side, 4931 had a very interesting skeleton design. And here's a quick glance at 1706, again just another robot I hadn't focused on yet. And here's their robot with a stack of gray totes. You can see they're also using those tires on the front to spin the boxes into place and grip them. And here's another look at 4931's bot. Check that out. They've got a row of arms that opens all at once so that they can slide boxes and recycling bins up onto their skeleton spine there. And then once the boxes are up, then the arms all close down all at once to grip them and hold them while it moves around. And here's one more shot of a robot designed to load with the player station, just because it's so beautifully efficient and effective, and I don't know how we didn't think of it, but a lot of other teams did. Here's 4931 unloading a big stack of boxes it has. This was one I just had to get a clip of. While we were waiting for this game to start, this was the first match in the finals rounds, we noticed that 2783's mechanism wheels were glowing. So you can see there are actually lights in those wheels that are pulsing on and off. And here's a few more shots. We got that 1208 bot, and I think that might be South-Tech's robot, with its 2 stacks of gray boxes on one side and the recycling bin with litter on the other side. And then in a minute here, we're also going to see another clip of Team Titanium. And here's a quick time lapse of the field being reset, and in a minute here, the only match that I'm going to show you the entire thing for is the finals match. So this is the last round in the finals that determines the winners.
Usually we took the left. I guess someone else took that one.
Immediately we see 2 of the 3 robots on the blue line stashed to the middle. We see Team Titanium go right after those 2 toads. And now we see the driver stepping into control. 1658 making some amazing moves. They already got some litter and recycle bin. Team Titanium going after the toads. And 1208 has his recycle bin and they're beginning to pick up some toads. Now, you notice they're keeping that recycle bin a little bit lower because they don't want to lose their balance and fall over again. 4154, that is perpetual recursion. He's working the vacuum and layer zone while their teammate, Engineer Mr. Morrow, is working the front. We hop on over to the Red Alliance side. There we see the 1658 already has 6 gray toads and recycle bin with litter. They're trying to get out of the area where the human player is and get it put up. It's a little crooked and stacking, but hopefully it won't fall over this time. 1986, picking up a recycle bin with litter. Walker's second toad in this stack. We have a good stack from 1658. That is the 10 heads. Team Titanium working it easily. They're about to make their way back out here and stack without the existing 3. Looks like we have a little bit of a hit front with 1208 and 4154. That's E2 organic perpetual recursion. They're trying to get these 2 in places. They're both working so diligently that sometimes it's hard to remember you're on the same alliance. We're going to get through this though. Their teammate tomorrow still working at the front corner player zone. And we look back across the field and we see what? 2 stacks of 6 plus recycle bins and litter. Unbelievable. 1658 though, working that front end unit player zone. Trying to get in position to get some more toes. Looks like we're about to add number 3. We see that our friends in Robotics are trying to keep up and work the front corner here to grab some more of these toes. All the way to the B2 Brigade, trying to get that lovely recycle bin out. They looked it up and they're successful. Now we just got to get the litter in it and stack it on top of something. Less than 20 seconds remaining. 1986, Team Titanium trying to get out there. 1658 trying to spend these last 10 seconds. Desperately getting that stack out there for point. It's going to be close one with 4, 3, 2,
final score for me? Oh, they're calling me again.
Let me guess, your carrier is Verizon, isn't it? You're losing a signal here.
You have the information that I need. It's Santa Claus again. It is Santa this time, guys. Okay, what's the results? All right, so I have the final score of this match. Do you want to know what it is? to 163. The winner is the Red Robotics. Thank you so much. Let's give a big round to all of our teams. Thank you, Sailor.
Try to pick up your area and be prepared for closing ceremonies. They'll be underway very, very shortly.
So I hope you've all enjoyed this long video. Like I said, my coverage was pretty extensive, but hopefully it was interesting for you guys. So like I said earlier, you can go to our team's website if you want to learn more about us specifically. Our website is oakvillerobotics.com. I do manage that website. I take all the pictures that you see on it, or most of the pictures. I have made a couple videos that are on it. And on there you can follow what our team is doing, what competitions we're in. Every now and then I post clips of our robots in action while we're working on them. And like I said earlier, our school has had some budget cuts, and as of right now, there is not going to be a robotics team next year. So I may try and do something about that. I may try and start a community robotics club outside of school. But whether or not that happens, I was really glad that we were able to compete in the FRC one more time. It was a great season, and it's been a great 3 years. So like I said, oakvillerobotics.com if you want to learn more about us. Or of course, you can always head on over to nerdonthestreet.com, sign up for our forums, and feel free to talk about robotics on there. If we have any fellow first teams watching this, then yeah, it'd be great to have some discussion. So like I said, hope you enjoyed, but for now, that is all that I have. So I'm Jacob Kaufman, I'm the Nerd on the Street, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.